Hey everyone, welcome to Judging for the Win. I'm Dave, and this is my daily ruling. Today's question comes to us from the True Stories collection, as in it actually happened at an event that I was actually judging. Amy plays Leyline Binding against Nick's Thalia, Heretic Cathar. Later, Amy wants to sacrifice Leyline Binding to Enigmatic Incarnation. With the creature Amy gets enter the battlefield tapped or untapped. Okay, so longtime fans of the channel will probably remember the first important fact that we're going to need, which is that the instructions of a spell or ability are followed in the order that they're written, with separate sentences or clauses corresponding to separate instructions. This means that first you sacrifice the enchantment, then you search your library, then you put the creature onto the battlefield, then you shuffle. The next important fact that we're going to need is a bit of information about how Leyline Binding works. The ability returns Thalia to the battlefield immediately after the Leyline Binding leaves the battlefield. This doesn't require priority or waiting for state-based actions to get checked, it just happens. The Thalia is thus returned to the battlefield during the resolution of Enigmatic Incarnation's ability, right after the step where Leyline Binding is sacrificed. With that being the case, we can say that Thalia is on the battlefield before the step where Amy puts her creature that she searched for into play, which means that Thalia will cause that creature to enter tapped. Another type of interesting interaction involving these cards would be how they work with triggered abilities. So, for example, let's say that the Leyline Binding had exiled a Meteor Golem. Another fact longtime fans of the channel may remember is that triggered abilities can trigger anytime, but if they trigger in the middle of a spell or ability resolving, they do not get put onto the stack until the next time that a player would get priority, which is after all of the steps of that ability's resolution have been completed. Targets for a triggered ability, like Meteor Golems, are chosen as part of the process of putting that triggered ability onto the stack. So Nick could destroy the creature Amy got because it would be in play by that time, even though it was not on the battlefield at the time the ability triggered. That means that if Amy got a Meteor Golem herself, then both the Meteor Golems could destroy each other. Pretty poetic, right? For my money, the best interaction involving the skeleton doesn't have to do with either replacement effects like Thalia or triggered abilities like Meteor Golem. Rather, let's suppose the Leyline Binding had exiled a Leonin Arbiter. Would it come back in time to affect Amy's search? If so, could Amy pay 2 to be able to get to search for something? The answer to the first part of that question should be fairly self-evident from what we talked about before. Just like in the Thalia example, the Leonin Arbiter will be returned immediately after the Leyline Binding is sacrificed. This is before Amy's instruction to search, so that means the search would in fact be blocked by the Arbiter's ability. But could Amy pay 2 mana to smooth this issue over? Unfortunately for her, the answer to that question is no. Amy paying 2 to ignore the Leonin Arbiter's ability is not considered casting a spell nor activating an ability. The technical term that the game rules use for what she's doing is taking a special action. As you can see here, this special action can be taken anytime that Amy has priority, which is bad news for Amy because, like we said before, players do not get priority in the middle of a spell or ability resolving. The next time Amy will get priority is after all the steps for resolving Enigmatic Incarnation's ability have been completed, which is of course too late. Maybe you're wondering if the answer would be any different if Amy had previously paid for the Leonin Arbiter earlier that turn. Then she played Leyline Binding to exile it, and in the same turn she wanted to sacrifice the Leyline Binding to Enigmatic Incarnation. Unfortunately, this does not help her at all. If you pay for a Leonin Arbiter and then it leaves and re-enters the battlefield, you would have to pay for it again in order to search. I talked about this interaction in detail in a previous video a few months ago, and I recommend that you check that one out if you'd like a fuller explanation for that ruling. But that's all I have for you today. How did you do? Join me again next time for another daily ruling, but until then, I hope you have a great day.